Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're talking about yet another Capcom related controversy. Capcom, the company responsible for some titles like Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and so on. And a few days ago we talked about this situation involving Capcom where they came out with this absolute stinker. It was a collab event between Street Fighter and Spy Family, and this is the final result, okay? It was a avatar skin of the character Yor, and it was awful, okay? It was absolute trash, and everybody was making fun of that event. And you know what? Capcom saw that and said, hold my beer, we're gonna make this a lot worse. So recently it was discovered that Capcom has sneakily added a DRM to their backlog of games. And this DRM is called Enigma Protector. This is a very sketchy DRM that has resulted in the spreading of malware to some users, but this is a very big deal, and let's understand why. So PC Focus made this tweet that got a lot of attention. It says, Capcom started adding DRM Enigma Protector to their backlog of games. This DRM is cancer, prevents modding, no cheat engine, reduces performance by up to 10 to 15 FPS, stutters. So a lot of people are very angry about this because DRMs are designed to crack down on mods, and Capcom has a long history of trying to do just that, and we'll learn more about that later in the video. But this wasn't something that Capcom was open and announced publicly. This was something that was discovered by users who did not like what they were seeing. This is a very bad change for people who are consuming Capcom-related titles. And going forward, here's some of the titles that have been affected by this DRM. It includes some Resident Evil titles as well as Street Fighter titles. And yeah, I think personally this is just them testing the waters to expand out to more of their backlog of games and eventually possibly modern releases as well. But here's a good point by this user saying, putting DRM on older games that can already be pirated literally does nothing but hurt the consumer buying your product. This is so stupid. This has to be the decision of old execs who barely understand how technology works anymore. And they're exactly right. It's almost like we all know this is a greedy move by Capcom, but it's a greedy move with very little thought process behind it. They don't understand that this is just pushing people to pirate these games more, and you're punishing the customer who's actually paying for these older releases. It makes absolutely no sense in a financial way, but also the most blatant result is hurting the customer who's actually going out and buying these older releases. And, you know, we're documenting all of these changes, the crackdown on mods, but as the Niche Gamer article here points out, nobody should be surprised by this very strong response by Capcom and their attempt to crack down on mods. This is something they've been doing for a long time, and I am very convinced that last summer when this happened, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, okay? When this Street Fighter 6 tournament happened, everything changed. So if you don't remember, last summer, there was a Street Fighter 6 tournament, and one of the players had a nude Chun-Li mod, okay? Very good taste. But the problem is they didn't turn it off before they entered this tournament, so this nude model was shown during the live broadcast. A lot of people were memeing on this situation, but I think this was the mind break arc for some of the boomer Puritan execs over at Capcom because they had a very strong response coming out later last year in November where they had a presentation that's posted on YouTube where they were encouraging their company and other companies to start cracking down on mods. Now, these standards you're seeing here are not exaggerations. These are actual screenshots from their PowerPoint presentation explaining how they view certain mods. So, the state of cheats and piracy in PC games. Should you target mods in your anti-cheat/anti-piracy programs? All mods are defined as cheats, except when they are officially supported. What they are doing internally is no different than cheating. Mods no different than cheats affect the product. So yes, that mod you have to make Chun-Li naked or enhance the appearance or outfit of your character for your own aesthetical enjoyment, they are saying that is cheating, just like an actual cheat where you're enhancing the ability of your character. This is a crazy comparison, but when you look at the further reasoning behind this, It sounds like a standard that would be a Twitter wet dream. You know, like the Puritan-like Twitter users that are taking over and are offended by the smallest bit of sexual content. This is the standard they're rooting for. So, it says, reputational damage caused by malicious mods. The image of the product is tarnished when mods are released that violate public order and morals without permission. Mods can be mistaken for legitimate implementations and can cause bad publicity. I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen bad publicity coming from a really sexy enhancement to a character that is through a mod, okay? I don't think that's ever caused someone to walk away from a product, but basically this standard is what a lot of people have talked about. Something that violates public order and morals. The 1950s called and they want their standard back, okay? First of all, what does that even mean? It's very open-ended, and obviously it's not something gamers, and in particular those who use mods, would want to see. But anyways, things get worse as Capcom adds this DRM, but unfortunately people are beginning to interact with the DRM, and things are getting sloppy because when confronted on their own forums, the Enigma developers responded with a very flippant attitude. And let's look at the conversation here. So people are pointing out in the forums that there's a game performance drop and that it's causing issues with the games that are now subjected to this DRM. And in the response, through their official account, Enigma would reply to this very polite post here saying, "Curious, what action do you need from us? And why do you blame us that someone use our software? Someone use, we do not push to use it. What is our guilt, you think? And why are you so sure that all you reported belongs to our software? Maybe you are so angered because you can't use the cheats anymore?" As they pointed out down here in response, what a hostile first response. And down here, I think, is a very good point a lot of people can agree on. Modding a single-player game is not cheating. Modifying your own software experience without affecting others is not cheating. And for Enigma to have such a hostile response to people back a few years ago making this response, pretty crazy stuff. But here's another post about this DRM, and it gets worse, okay? Somehow this all keeps getting worse. So this additional post by PC Focus says, Capcom started to add this DRM to their old games, and that 34 virus positive results have come up. All behind this company is so shady. It's developed by a Russian company with no name or address and sold through a website which domain name was paid for through a front based in Moscow, Russia. Capcom has a history of deceptively installing malware in people's computers. Do not play any game with this DRM. So let's see this right here. This is a report of the DRM, and you can see a whole host of Trojans there. Not very good. So not only are you actually having an effect on these games as a performance, the performance and the way the games are running is tampered with, but also your security is being tampered with because of this shady DRM. And going forward, this bad look, we got a lot of bad PR here, okay? This DRM has a very hostile response to anyone complaining about performance issues, but also Capcom is making things worse and worse for themselves, and they're doing it in the shadiest way. So a lot of people are also shining a spotlight on Capcom, who is also striking down channels for mod usage. And let's read one of these comments. So this is a YouTube comment saying, "Hey guys, this is a frightening moment for Monster Hunter speedrunners on PC and Monster Hunter YouTubers who have been using mods for their videos. Capcom Japan's legal team is going after Sunbreak videos on YouTube which feature any kind of mod and issue takedown requests and copyright strikes. We also received a copyright strike. With 3 strikes, your channel gets deleted. Many videos of fellow Monster Hunter speedrunners were taken down. Some speedrunners even received 3 strikes on their channel and were deleted. We are sorry this happened to them, and we hope they can reach out to their community managers to reinstate their channels and just private or delete the videos instead." Obviously a very serious situation. I mean, they're kind of putting Nintendo to shame at this point with the strikes that are flying out. But I don't think this story and these strikes would have had as much of a spotlight if it wasn't for this DRM situation, and as a result, probably also the whole Spy Family collab. A lot of bad attention being directed towards Capcom, their own doing, by the way, but it's also highlighting other issues like this. And honestly, this jealousy towards modders is really embarrassing. Capcom, it's almost like they're insecure about being shown up by these modders and their own community at times. And I think it's proven by this Street Fighter collab. We talked about this the other day, but just to point this out, I mean, this was an event that was very hyped up. Two beloved IPs, two very attractive characters with iconic designs and outfits. How could this go wrong? Well, here was the results. And this is an official screenshot from their promotional video. And this is their Yor, okay? An avatar costume, which is already a bad move. You know, they should have done a normal character costume, but they did an avatar one anyways. And, you know, players don't use the OCs. It's just, in fighting games, it's just very, very bad choice on their behalf. And then you have people pointing out that the presentation is just embarrassing because you have this coming from the official Capcom account, and here's just some random modders who made Yor mods in other games that look 10 times better than this presentation, and also people using the actual avatar costume already made much cleaner and much more representative recreations of the character Yor that look 100 times better than what they publicly gave out as a promotion. But anyways, I wanted to point something else out that's pretty interesting. In some forums, you can find people actually defending Capcom and their decision to crack down on mods, which honestly reminds me of the attitude of a lot of people on Twitter. So you have people celebrating this, saying, well, that's very good. No more thirsty idiots recording their speedrun while using nude or skimpy armor mods, and no more cheaters one-shotting every monster in join requests. Well, that first half is completely different than the second half, and that's unfortunately exactly what Capcom is shooting for. You're lumping in simple, aesthetically pleasing things like changing the appearance of your character, or, you know, who cares? Like, honestly, who cares if someone wants to make some horny mod for their character for their own enjoyment? That is certainly not the same as cheating and one-shotting things in a game with a actual mod designed to cheat. And people are completely okay with this, and it reflects that Puritan-like mindset that you see on places like Twitter and also in Capcom as well. And it's not just about crying about losing your cheats, it goes way beyond that. But at the end of the day, I think the majority of people are not happy with this, and you can see proof of that in some of the recent Steam reviews. You can go to the older releases that are affected by this DRM, and people are not happy, and they're leaving negative reviews, and it's just, we're at a breaking point with a lot of companies like Capcom where this is like controversy number 1,000, and all of them always are a slap in the face of the consumer. Will someone actually take a stand? Because if people keep consuming this stuff, complaining about it, and then continuing to consume it, nothing's going to happen. They're not going to change their behavior. So hopefully this actually gets people to walk away from their products, because otherwise, why would they have any incentive to stop this warpath on mods and really bad PR decisions that Capcom keeps doing over and over? But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.